Hi y'all, Kraken Latte here. It's that time again where I bring you my tips, facts, or experience that you may or may not find helpful. The awesome new Dracthyr race is finally here. At last we can play as a scaly boy and be all colorful and pretty with wings, but there is one very unfortunate drawback. For the first time that I know of, we'll only be able to make one of the new race per server, because this race is also tied to the new hero class, the Evoker. The traditional newly released hero class rule that Blizzard usually sticks us with is that we're only allowed to create one new hero class per server while the expansion is current. Demon Hunters were this way, and I think Death Knights were as well, so this rule is nothing new. Luckily, we can have multiple Evokers by way of putting them on other servers. Well, that's still within the rule. However, if you're only playing on one realm, you can't just go make it on another because there's another rule. You have to have a level 50 character, luckily it's only 50, on that realm to create a new Evoker. Now, additionally, they've been nice to us this time around and are letting us create our first one with no level restriction. So you can kind of get around that rule once, but it's still on another server and it's still only your first one. So if you already made one on your main server where your 50s and such are, sorry, you might have missed out on that one. However, I've been playing a long time and I know of a couple tricks to getting around these rules, and don't worry, they're all perfectly legal. But as a warning, it will cost you. If you don't mind paying a bit of gold or real money to get you more than one Dracthyr Evoker on a single server, the same server, while Dragonflight is current, then let's look at how to get this working. To make sure we understand this properly and don't spend more than we need to, let's establish the rules clearly. So, first and foremost, the obvious way that we're supposed to be able to have more than one Evoker is by spreading them out across multiple servers. So, multiple servers are needed for this. That's easy, you have access to them on one account, not a big deal. You can make your first one, if you haven't made one yet, so your first one, without the level requirement. So no level 50s needed for your very first one on any server. And after that, any additional Evoker will need a level 50 on that same server first before creating the Evoker. So, them's the rules. Oh, and to note, no, unfortunately, the unboosted class trials will not work for the level 50 character requirement. It'll look like it will, because it'll show up and you can make your Dracthyr and you can customize them, but it will prevent you from finishing them when you go to officially finalize it. So, they already thought of that. Okay, so there's the rules on creating them. Keep that all in mind, that's very important. But we're not done here. So, if you're like me and you want them on one server, same account, then, like I said, this part will require some gold or real money. Because once you've created them on that server that you don't want them on, guess what? You can transfer them to your preferred server even if you already have one there. Yup, you heard me right. You can do this in two different ways, both from another server on the same account, or even another WoW account. That's right, the other way around this is by having multiple accounts. You can have up to 8 WoW accounts per Battle.net account, but each one will require its own subscription and the Dragonflight expansion separate from your first one to let you create more Evokers on those accounts. Oof, this is the more expensive route, but still, it's an option. So as long as all of your WoW accounts are under the same Battle.net account, the regular character transfer rules will apply here as well. There was another way to do this back in the day, but it doesn't work anymore, so I want to bring it to your attention. In a different fashion, deleting your Evoker, making another, and then restoring the old one while you still have the new one isn't possible. Deleting your Evoker does let you make a new one, which is good, but you will be prevented from restoring the old one while the new one is on that same server. and that restriction likely won't be removed until the next expansion. This is a trick we could use in the past, and that's why I wanted to point it out, so you spare yourself the trouble and the restoration cooldown. And that is shockingly all there is to this. Super simple. Just make your new evoker somewhere else on a different server or account, and then transfer them to your main server. Easy! You will have to get them out of their starting zone before you can transfer them, as a side note, but I mean, that only takes like 30 minutes if you zip through it, so nice! And there we have it. If you think I've missed information, or you want to request I do a specific guide, let me know in the comments below. Even if I don't answer you, I just might add your idea to my list. As always, thank you so much for watching, and remember, it's never too latte.